I'm Michael Lindfield. I'm the Director of Urban Infrastructure Services based in Sydney, working right throughout Asia and Africa and Latin America on cities. Previously, I was the head of the urban sector group at the Asian Development Bank. One is about capacity. It can be capacity to develop or to structure the finance or to market the project or to do what we call the monitoring, reporting and validation of the project. And second, the major other issue that middleweight cities have to deal with is scale. In terms of the size of investments and the ability to pay for investments. So the sorts of loans that a lot of middleweight cities might want to take out are actually very small for many financial institutions. And so the question is, what can be done about aggregating those kind of smaller investments into a larger one, whether it be within the city itself, where a set of investments can be aggregated, or across cities. In terms of revenue as well, middleweight cities face a scale issue in that not only is their revenue smaller, but also there is a problem often in terms of the actual income of the city and the capacity of the citizens to pay, which may be lower than in larger scale cities. There are a range of development agencies ranging from AFD, the French Development Agency, through the British, the Foreign Commonwealth Office in Asia, Australian DFAT, Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, are very active funds. Within the country, the universities and some of the national government departments often have capacity to assist local governments if they are asked to do so. In relationship to the finance, the national development banks, of course, are an important role, but where the private sector investors, particularly local private sector investors, are involved, local commercial banks can play a role as well. At the international level in ASEAN and Asia, the Asian Development Bank and the World Bank are very active in the area. The Islamic Development Bank is active in Malaysia and Indonesia mainly. So that it depends on what kind of country and also the level of GDP per capita as to the kind of rates they get. And finally, there are agencies that provide finance that are accessible through those intermediary agencies. So, for example, the Green Climate Fund and the Global Environmental Facility can only be accessed through intermediary agencies such as UNDP, such as AFD, such as KfW, such as ADB, such as World Bank. It is very unusual for cities to be able to get access to those kind of funds directly. They have to go through their national focal points, and even those national focal points find it difficult to access funds without the support of larger scale institutions. I think it's really important for the cities to really understand their place in relationship to the national financial system. When it comes, their circumstances will vary according to the size of the city and the wealth of the city. Smaller, poorer cities need to focus on collective action because that's the only way they're going to be able to get the viability gap financing and other financing that is available through the national and provincial/state governments. It's the leaders of larger and wealthier cities need to think about the national capital markets. What are the opportunities that are available in the national capital markets where they can tap in private sector finance and to expand the range of financing available to themselves.